The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour. Brought to you by Nadex. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Tom and Tommy O'Brien.
Welcome, everybody. Tommy O'Brien. I'm joined by our man Basil Chapman this morning. Basil, good morning.
Hi, Tommy. How are you?
I'm doing well. Let's just check in these markets before we jump into it. Dow Jones up 203 points, trading 25,513. Nasdaq up 50 points, or 0.7%, trading 73.87. And S&P's up 16 points, or 0.6, trading 27.63. You have the market clawing back over half of the losses that it has as we kick off the week. And we'll see where we leave this week, Basil. It's been we had quite a good week last week as we had a positive trend. You have the VIX back into 16 territory, and all seems well in the market again, wouldn't you say?
There are a couple of things that are going on. We've got a rotation, and that rotation so far has taken the QQQ, that's the NASDAQ, the Index 100 trading vehicle, that's the power shares, and that QQQ has gone right to 169.62 as we speak, actually 169.62 as we speak. But the all-time high was 170.95. So we're very close to test. This is still leg C in my Chapman wave methodology. I've got what I call a left side, right side price time match, and that says by the 28th, which will be in 2 days' time, there should be a test of the 170.95 area. Also, being in leg C, there's a good chance that you will still go to a D. Usually we're looking for 4 higher peaks once we're in a buy mode, which this is. The QQQs. Now, what's really interesting about it is that the QQQ is kind of leading the way to the upside. It had an 18. People don't realize when you're looking at percentage terms, I didn't hear anyone talking about the actual percentage of the decline that the Qs had, and the Qs went down 18%.
Pretty remarkable.
And
yeah.
I mean, 18% sounds like a huge amount, not when you're looking at today's action, and at 169.60, it's down less than 1%. So what we're looking at really is the V-shaped pattern. It almost looks as if that was an aberration. And that says to me, two things are happening. Because if you look at the QQQs, you look at the broader S&P, SPX.X, look, the S&P has come back very nicely, but as you had said just now, it's about 50%, maybe a 60% retracement to the upside. And the weekly chart, unlike the Qs, is really very weak technically, but it is rallying quite nicely. There's no question about that. And if you look at the Dow, IND, we went long. We're very fortunate for subscribers. We went long the day off. We actually went long the day of the low because I anticipated that there should be a low on the 9th. We did get stopped out for a tiny little 0.8% loss. We jumped right back in on the following day, on the Monday. So we are long. We actually had 2 long positions. One got taken out for a nice profit on that sudden pullback 4 days ago. But what's really interesting is we're in leg C. We're a little bit better now in the Dow than the S&P. So when I say divergence, we're looking at divergence where you've got strength in the semiconductor index. The SMHs have come back. For my subscribers, we were short from just about the top, and the SMHs took really nice gains on the way down, and now we're out. I almost went long, but I didn't want to buy a gap up. But you can see if you look at it, the QQQs are leading to the upside. That's the full sector of the Index 100. The SMHs are catching up. The S&P is a little bit behind the SMHs, and the Dow is actually the one that's maybe second in line because the Qs and then comes the Dow in terms of the major indices. So this is going to be very interesting. I was looking at this area here in the Dow of 25,500, 25,620. That's where I'm going to see whether or not there's resistance or not. Fascinating period.
It is, and that is really remarkable when you look at how far the decline had been in the NASDAQ and then the acceleration we've seen to the upside. And, of course, you know, I think Amazon made a new high last week.
Still making new highs, yes.
And yeah, where is it today? Is Amazon making?
Today it's 15.17. It's at an all-time high.
So new highs as we speak. Pretty remarkable.
Yep.
Yeah, Amazon.
And it's in leg C in a new waveform on the upside. In the daily and the weekly chart has gone to a G/C. This is very good action. Amazon's telling us that it's still king of the hill when it comes to anything retail.
Yeah, and it didn't hurt, right, to have last week the giant Walmart, of course, suffering, declining, and let's just even jump and see how Walmart is doing today, because that was quite a haircut.
That was
Walmart,
a big smack, yes.
Oof, was up at 107. Now closed at about 104. Walmart did. That was on the 16th prior to their earnings. They come out with their earnings. Somehow the earnings got an immediate spike up to 107. But yeah, now we're trading at 93 and was down to as low as 91.24 last week. And of course, yeah, it's just I was going to say, you know, it's remarkable that a lot of that has to do with if Walmart can't compete in the online arena, then Amazon doesn't have a competitor just yet. That is for sure.
The implication that you're making is that Walmart was the one retail that really had everything going for it to be able to tackle what Amazon is offering as really major structural. It's really an innovator. I don't know how anyone's going to catch that up in a short period of time.
And just when Walmart came out with their last earnings in November, they got a big pop over the expectation that maybe they had kind of pulled something together. They got a pop on their earnings, and from there they were trading, you know, we're pretty much back down to that level. We were trading at about $91 before in November. We got a pop up on their earnings, trade all the way up to 109.
109.98.
Yeah,
right?
in late January, exactly.
Trading now at 92.92.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is tough stuff. I mean, and you know, if you look at Macy's was the absolute leader for years. I mean, their organizational methodology, the way they curtailed over expenditure and everything was just fantastic right up until 2015. They had 73.61, and now they're trading at 26. I mean, something's wrong. It's difficult.
I agree, and you know, even Walmart, they logistically, it seems like they have a far way to come when you look at the fact that Amazon is built for home delivery and Walmart is not built for that. You know, they're built for delivery to their stores, and they're still trying to make that transition. So we will see.
I was going to ask you, over the weekend and going into this morning, what, in terms of the Nadex platform, what were you very interested, what really struck you as probably one of the better, not necessarily a trade, but something that you would focus on?
Well, if we're speaking specifically on Nadex, the one thing that I've loved recently is taking a look at Bitcoin, just because the volatility we had and the ability to short it in a regulated environment. And, you know, you go from 6,000 in Bitcoin all the way up to 20,000. And then you come back down to 6,000, and now we're back at about 10,000. 10.2. Even in the overnight session last night at 3 in the morning, we were down at 9,400. We're up about $800 on that level and pulling it back. You know, Friday, it's amazing. You know, Friday at the exact time we're at, pretty much at around 10 o'clock, we were trading at about 10,400. Last night, Bitcoin starts trading again in here, and at the overnight session, we're down at 9,400, and we're up at 10.2. I believe last Monday, we opened in Bitcoin at around 11.5. So, you know, at least in Bitcoin, it was tough to trade when it was at 20,000 because it was a rocket ship straight to the moon. At some point, the expectation was it was going to pull back, and sure enough, it did all the way to 6,000. But now you do have some volatility in there, and we can go over it. I'll pull up the spread when we get back here. Come on back, folks. Basil and I will be back in 3 minutes. We got the Dow currently positive 185 points. We'll be right back.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionics, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated folic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. We take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, joined by Basil Chapman. You get the Dow up 175, S&P's up 11, and this month we have the open house going on in the Den, and I encourage everybody to check it out. You can get a free month of the Tiger's Den membership. Get in there for 30 days, and the reason why I just mentioned it, I thought of it, great conversation. I know you're taking part in it in the Den right now, Basil, talking about Walmart versus Amazon. It's just an interesting conversation. There's so many great points getting made in terms of, is their physical store a benefit right now? Is it a cost? Are they paying for that? Is it something that's holding them back? I don't know. It's just great to see all the points, because that's the million-dollar question, right? Is that holding them back? Is that something that they can get a leg up on Amazon once they kind of get their act together?
Right. Certainly the most important thing that you have to consider is that there's a kind of regression to the mean. And I would not be surprised if at some point Amazon's already started a couple. They have a store in Dedham at, what's it called, Legacy Place.
Do they? Okay.
So they have, yep, a store, a retail store, and kind of crowded. And what they have, I've only been in once, but as I looked around, I saw just the absolute most popular things and smaller items.
Interesting, and I know that mall you're talking about. It's beautiful now. They redid it, what, 5-10 years ago or something. Beautiful mall.
I couldn't believe that they decided to make a mall that was outdoor here in the Northeast.
Yes.
Where it snows.
Yes.
And you can't even find parking.
I've been there once since one of the times I returned back to Boston, and I remember the old Dedham movie theater that used to be there, right? And they really did an amazing job in terms of turning that whole area around. And it would make sense that Amazon pops their store into a place where you can't find parking, right? In terms of...
So we're seeing structural changes. We're seeing structural changes over the last 10 years based on what Amazon has done, but we're also seeing what Amazon has done because it's taken over Whole Foods. And as far as I'm concerned, I see weakness now in Whole Foods. They don't have the variety. They're obviously doing cost cutting. They're obviously selecting items. I think that Whole Foods was getting a lot of pressure from almost every supermarket around.
Yes.
Because of the fact that, you know, natural this, natural that.
Yes. So are you a shopper in Whole Foods? That's your personal perspective?
Well, you know, I have different things. I have, within a 1.5 mile radius, I actually have 2 Whole Foods, a Trader Joe, a Star Market.
Okay.
I mean, a lot.
Okay.
So I get different things from different places, and I treat it as fun as the way I'm forced to get out of the house. Otherwise.
Nice. No, it is. Yeah, and it's good. And that grocery industry is just fierce competition. That's why Amazon was able to scoop up Whole Foods without any type of problem with regulators. Yeah.
Well, I think that they're doing something with their suppliers. They're not having as many of the locals. You know,
and that was it is intriguing because that was one of the conversations that came up when Amazon purchased them, where it wasn't something that they were going to immediately be able to turn over the suppliers to a cost-cutting basis, because they have so many agreements in place with the suppliers for Whole Foods, because, you know, they need that kind of locally sustained type of growth, where Amazon was going to just have to be able to still have those deals in place. Or were they going to be able to cost cut in the same way? And competition is so fierce. But Amazon is a logistic genius, I feel like, as a company. You know, so if anyone can get it done in terms of delivering fresh food to your doorstep as immediately as possible, they seem to have that game down pat. But
this is a little different industry.
Oh,
and I think that it's going to take them a lot longer.
Especially when you talk about food, because that is, you know, they're the king of anything can get delivered to your door, and it's there when you get home. But is the public going to be okay with fresh produce, right? Fresh veggies, fresh whatever it is, being delivered at your doorstep? Is it going to be fresh enough? Is it going to be fast enough? And can they do it at a price that's competitive? When, like you say, everybody, I mean, I have Publix is the huge one in Florida, and I have a Publix, I have 2 Publix within probably half a mile from my house, literally. And they have great fresh food. They really do, you know, the deli, everything. They have their Greenwise brand, which is an organic brand of meats and all that type of stuff. So it'll be interesting.
And that's competition, pricing competition, and quality, because some of them are producing really nice quality. I mean, Star Market sometimes has nice fruit.
Nice, yeah, and that's what I think, you know, it's very important in this day and age, and this is a real just fundamental personal perspective conversation, but it is in terms of, you know, when you're talking about meats, when you're talking about veggies, you know, that people want freshness, you know, you don't, maybe not organic, but you want freshness, you want good quality because the competition is there, so you can find it, so you demand it, I believe.
Initially, you want convenience, and then you want the quality as well.
Right, and I just think it speaks to there's so much competition that the consumer is allowed to demand it. You know, where you don't feel like you're suffering from too much of a price premium because you can pay for it at a convenience and at a price that's reasonable with that type of competition in the landscape.
So looking back, going back to Bitcoin.
Yes.
You know, do you know what the low was? The most recent low?
Let's try and pull back.
Low?
Let's try.
You tell me what it is. You're going to be shocked.
What now? When you say most recent low?
I'm looking at the Bitcoin, and I'm going to it, and I had 6,000.00.
Yes, so you're talking about the real low. Yep, 6,000. Is it 6,000.00? That would be amazing.
That's what I had.
Yeah, and that's the site you're on is a great site, the cryptowatt.ch.
Yes.
I got your chart up here. It's a great site if anybody, you know, for all cryptocurrencies to follow it. Yeah, and that's where I would go, Basil. You know, if that's what it's saying. And, you know, Nadex has great quotes as well on Bitcoin, but on any cryptocurrency, that site is great, and I know it's pretty remarkable. I had 6,000 in my head. I kept saying, wow, amazing, to the penny.
I mean, I'm saying 6,000, but it's not 6,000. It is 6,000.00. Years ago,
you know,
we used to
I do feel like, and maybe I do feel like I saw a 59 something print somewhere in there in my head. We'll have to look it up during the break. But
you might have, but it's printed here on my chart, 6,000.00, and I'm saying to myself, I used to hand chart a number of the indexes years and years ago when we didn't have computers, and I used to hand chart, and I used to make a note of aberrations like that. And it is so rare for any major index to actually hit 000.
So you know what's interesting, Basil, just to put it, so I pulled up Nadex, and on Nadex right now, February 6th, 59.72 I'm seeing, and on on February 6th, and it was 2 in the morning, so I wonder how that gets quoted. 59.51 if you're looking at my chart. I thought I had recalled somewhere that it had snuck into the 5,900 range, so that's interesting how that prints. And you know, and that's where the cryptocurrencies, there's not as specific of an opening and closing, right? That some of the opening bars, closing bars, it's trading 24 hours a day, so I wonder how that cryptocurrency...
Oh, you know what? You could be right, because this could have picked it up as it changed to the new day.
Exactly, or something to that degree,
It was still fascinating.
You know, no matter what, though, it's almost so close to just 6,000, though, that it, you know, and 6,000 of the penny would have been almost amazing, right? And those things do occur. But even to hit such a level mentally that's 6,000, like I just keep saying as we talk, 6,000, you know, that because it pretty much reached 6,000. Even in the span of Bitcoin, when you're talking about up at 20,000, to be within $50 of 1,000 mark, right, for it to make that turnaround.
It also dropped 2/3.
And it was 50. It went from almost 20,000, Basil, right, within $20 or so, 20,000, down to 6,000. We're back up to like 12,000. You're talking about, you know, exactly 66% down, 100% up. We'll take a look at some of those spreads when we come back. We'll take a look at crude oil. We got some action. Gold, we got some action. We'll be right back, folks.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender. Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
It's a special month at TFNN, and with market volatility back, we've decided to hold an open house in our Tiger's Den. For this month only, you can get a full 30 days of Tiger's Den membership without paying anything. The Tiger's Den is our interactive chat room where you can chat with other tigers and tigresses along with the TFNN hosts during each of their programs. For all of the details and to start your 30-day free trial to the Tiger's Den today, visit the front page of TFNN.com before this deal is gone.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. I'm Tommy O'Brien, joined by Basil Chapman. We got the Dow up 147, S&P's up about 9, NASDAQ up about 30. Market pulling back a bit, Basil, in the last 20, 30 minutes or so. You have the S&P 500 now below where we were at the open, traded all the way up to 2766, off a full 10 points from where we are. 10 points, my goodness, that would have been the world a few weeks ago, you know, when we were dealing with no volatility. But yeah, starting the week off, opens, gets quite a pop, 930, trades up 10 points, and we're below that level. NASDAQ 100 pulling back a bit, but still above where we were at the open. NASDAQ seems to be the strong one as we progress, and Dow 30 kind of back right where we were at the open, 24,445. But again, Dow reached up to 24,535, so back about 90 points on the Dow as we come about an hour into the trading day. So commodities, Basil, we've had some good action. Crude last week, we had quite a run up. We had the EIA inventory numbers on Thursday, got a $2 pop up. We were almost at $64 this morning, pulling back a bit. And then again, even since we started the program, crude was up about 50 pennies, trading from just about 63.10 up to 63.64. And gold as well, some volatility. We're above 13.42, been quite a run for gold as well. And trading back, though, off about $8 of those levels, 13.34. What are you looking at when you look at any of those commodities, Basil? Anything gold, crude?
Yeah, you know, this is really interesting. There are a couple of things that I'm looking at. The chart pattern that we just spoke about in the Dow, and I mentioned the relationship of where I'm expecting some resistance to come in, and the chart that we were looking at of the QQQ. Basically, those are patterns. What I like to do is I like to look at, over the weekend, I like to look at chart formations. I look at dozens and dozens of charts. Excuse me. And what I look at is what patterns are repeating. And what's fascinating is it's the pattern, and sometimes they are completely non-related sectors. But once a pattern forms, it seems to push into other areas. For instance, looking at crude oil now, it's right at about there, just over 50% retracement. The daily chart, it had a very sharp pullback from a Chapman wave top of the 25th at 66.49 to this double bottom low that started on the 9th and then again on the 14th. It had a little higher high. It's gone to this third leg higher, leg C. You can see the MACD's just crossed positive. Stochastic is good at 61%. But this is exactly the area where either you get, I call it two fighting patterns. Okay. You're either going to get some kind of faltering over here, and then you start to head down. It'll go towards the 62.30 level where the 9-period moving average is. I like speed. If I'm looking at upside or downside, I want action. I want you just a very brief pullback, then you go on to the next high. Brief pullback and you continue higher. So far, crude oil has done it, but right here with this candle, gapping up today, well, gapping up in the futures, but making a new high in the crude oil. This you can see in the weekly chart, the MACD and stochastic have pulled back. This is a really important moment over the next 3 days or so. I would consider it all the way around because you can have leadership, but the ones that are faltering are going to be the patterns that are faltering. That's going to be the clue to what goes on towards the end of the month and the beginning of the next month. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, make it real simple. Crude oil's acting well. It's bumped into resistance right here. The weekly chart says, wow, this is exactly where, if there's a break to the upside to the 64.5, 65.30 area, that is excellent action. If it stalls here, that could become a sideways motion. It could go on for a while. And I'm looking at this. So what did I look at over the weekend? Looked at crude oil. I looked at gold, and gold had a real nice pop-up earlier this morning. But if you look at the weekly chart pattern, it's still not very, very strong. I don't get it breaking down. I just don't get it rallying very strongly at this point. And the dollar is holding quite well, not looking great, but holding quite well above the 9-period moving average. So I'm trying to put the whole package together. And basically what I looked at was, this is going to be a very important couple of days. And one of the reasons is, and I'll discuss this a lot more in my show at noon, is that I've got a short-term signal that says there's a reversal in the 10-year T-note yield.
Okay.
If I'm correct, and I just moved over, and I should put this chart up because it is such a fascinating chart. Let me get out of this. If I'm correct, there should be a bit of a pullback in yields this week. We've got the Fed. This is the first real statement that our new Fed chairman is going to make on Wednesday.
Right. You have it's the Humphrey Hawkins testimony, right? Is that what I was reading?
Well, it's Humphrey Hawkins, but I think it's also that he was. I mean, that's where he answers questions.
Okay.
But I think it's also that he has to make a statement. And it's basically, what's the statement going to be?
His first full
what's his outlook?
declaration. Sure, what's going on. Yep.
Right. And if you look at this chart here of the week, the 30-year is white yield, the TNX 10-year is the brown, and the cyan color, this is the weekly chart, is the 5-year. I've got leg Ds in the weekly charts, and this is where you could get a pullback, but only a C in the 30-year, and that says there should be higher yields to come. I'm anticipating a week and a half of some kind of a pullback in yields. That's going to be really important, and how it affects the home builders. You can see the home building chart, the weekly, looks terrible. It made a top at 369, the Philadelphia Housing Safety Index. It's been spectacular up until now. Now it's faltering. I think yields are going to be the issue come the next 6 weeks to 8 weeks, and we're going to see what's impacted and what's not impacted. So when you ask me what am I looking at, I spend a lot of time saying sectors, different areas. Look at the commodities. I mean, high-grade copper is actually holding quite well, pulling back a little bit today. But look, it's making a higher level consolidation. This is a real mixed market. So I think it's selectivity. What we've done for my subscribers is be very selectively long. I haven't got any short. We have a short home builder that's really pulled back quite sharply. Still looks very poor. But I haven't yet started to add to the short side. Very important 3 days, I think. And I just, in the same, conversation, just jumping over to natural gas, quite an acceleration to the downside in natural gas this morning, trading from 272 all the way down to 264. And we were, Tom and I were looking at natural gas last week. Pretty remarkable movement, especially with how low natural gas is at, and especially the weather that we were getting throughout the country. Right. Pretty remarkable. But yeah, natural gas, that has had some volatility. I don't understand natural gas. Yeah. I cannot profess anything. It has a mind of its own. It does. What's remarkable is as you were having the conversation, I was thinking to myself, I wonder what natural gas is doing this morning, if it's still jumping around with some volatility. And as I pull up the chart, it's literally tanking as we speak. So pretty remarkable as well. And now the winter's almost over, so I don't know what to happen. Right, and that was kind of the interesting part of the conversation, right? Where it's like, we're at these lows, we're coming into March, right? I mean, we're right around the corner, and in Florida already. I know, we're always fortunate with good weather, but man, we're getting an early spring in Florida. Just that our winter is even over before it usually is in Florida, and we're already coming. Your father always talks about supply and demand. I just look at my monthly chart and I say oversupply. That's what it looks like. Yes, exactly. And a natural gas, that really is, I think that holds some weight for sure. Okay, folks, come on back. We'll be back in 3 minutes. We'll see where these markets are shaping up.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, everybody. Tommy O'Brien, joined with Basil Chapman. We get the Dow up 188, S&P up 11, NASDAQ up 36. VIX currently trading 1673. And as you were just to finish up, part of the conversation, you were talking about the home builders, Basil. So you had U.S. new home sales coming out this morning and dropping for the second straight month. So to get into this number, sales of new U.S. single-family homes fell for a second straight month in January, weighed down by steep declines in the Northeast and South, which could raise concerns of a slowdown in the housing market. Commerce Department said Monday new home sales dropped 7.8% to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 593,000 units last month, the lowest level since August of 2007. December sales pace was revised up to 643,000 units from the previously reported 625. So just interesting to add to that conversation. You're seeing that in the charts, and that's a bit of a fundamental take on it. And yeah, I mean, rates are going to play into that dramatically. The dollar will play into rates, and we'll see how that shapes out. But that's some fundamental news just as of this morning.
It's very interesting because there have been seminal changes in the marketplace, and especially with Bitcoin and all the different cryptocurrencies coming along. And these are going to impact markets much greater as we move into the coming years. But one thing that I've noticed over the last 3, 4, 5 weeks is that the auto companies, the newest thing now is you can't get first of all, I noticed at the auto show that it was almost impossible to get a fixed price on any car, because what they did is they gave you a base price, and then they put in, and then they had the little the touchpad, and you could touch and do it. By the time you added up everything else, your car could go at least another 12 or 30, even 30% higher.
Sure, yeah. The base is practically just a marketing ploy at this stage in that industry. Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed it, but now every single ad has the lease. And what they do is the lease looks unbelievable. I know my wife always, her eyes pop, says $99 a month.
Yes.
So I say always read the fine print, because they've got X amount of, no matter how much they tell you, they've got X amount over 3 years that they've got to get back. They can give it to you in the front, they can give it to you in the back. They're going to get it some way or other. They have to do it, or else they're giving the car away.
No,
so I'm looking at prices of leases, and you see them advertised. and they look phenomenal. And what's very interesting is that from a couple of people I've spoken to, this is just anecdotal, is that most people are not realizing that you should still negotiate the price of the car, because that's what everything is based on.
Oh, completely. And I lease a car right now, and so I'm very familiar with how that conversation goes. And most of the times those offers, because that's, you know, I would come in with the exact ad. I would take a picture of the ad on TV with my phone, right? And I would make sure, and I knew the fine details, but I would use that as a bargaining chip and say, you know, well, it seems a little misleading. And part of, you know, a big part of that, number one, is that includes a dramatic upfront payment, which most people really don't want to make in a lease payment. You know what I mean? That if you can make a dramatic upfront payment, most of the time maybe you can purchase a car, or you would, or you know what I mean? I mean, you're making that to have a 3-year rental, essentially, not a dramatic upfront payment of $4,000 to $5,000 to lock in a low payment, and then of course taxes, title, not included.
All thrown in.
Yeah, and then of course,
if it's thrown in, that means you're paying interest on that for 3 years.
Exactly, and then of course that's off the base rate that they're giving you, right? And that car is not going to be available when you go to lease it. As in, oh, the only car available has an extra this, it has an extra that, so that's going to add to your lease payment. And when I went in, I said, well, I don't want any of that. You know, you got to find me a car that doesn't have those bells and whistles then, because I don't need them. Because of course they want to sell you that. You know, I mean, that's they're making a lot more off those bells and whistles than they are off the base price of a base car, as in they have margins up the wazoo exactly on those margins. But it's interesting how, and that just speaks to, it's come from the zero rate environment as well too, where everything is kind of a payment system. You know, everything is 0% or this or that, and just to see how that changes as we go forward. Yeah.
The other aspect is they picked up on what the airlines did. Airlines went a la carte. First time they're making money in decades.
Yeah.
When was the last time an airline company went broke? I remember when
very good point.
I first met Tom, and we met at the airport and picked me up, and he took me to the office. We were talking about the airlines, and he said, I can't believe another 2 airlines are going insolvent. He said it just goes over and over and over. It doesn't happen anymore.
And we're so used to it at this point, right, Basil? I mean, in terms of the fees, the bag fees, you know, it's 35 here, 25 here, and it's no longer even an abnormally, it's just completely accepted in our own mind frame, which is amazing that they've transformed it.
I suspect that's going to happen in healthcare. It's going to happen in everything.
Yeah. That
they're going to pick up on this thing. You know, let people can either get a package, or you can go separate, a la carte. Boy, when you go a la carte, sometimes it can really add up, or you just don't get what you should have.
It is, and I mean, it stretches across the board, man. You know, you go and buy tickets at like a StubHub or something like that, right? You know, it's like you go and you see what you're paying, and then you click the add the fees, and they had 20, 30, 40, right? I know, pretty remarkable. It is. So let's just jump back in. I just want to go over the Bitcoin real quick one more time. So 10,246, because it's the beginning of the week, which is especially nice on these, because Nadex offers the weekly spreads. So these open every Monday. I believe it's 8 o'clock in the morning. So they have a $10,000 spread that goes from 4,700 to 14,700. Now, when these opened, Bitcoin was trading at about 9,700. So that's what they do. You know, they're going to split the difference. They're going to have $10,000 of total pie, and they're going to give you $5,000 to the upside. They're going to give you $5,000 to the downside, and that's going to be your, you know, covered defined risk, defined profit potential. And if you get back in here right at pretty much 8 o'clock, there's your 7 o'clock bar. It's ending 98, 9,700. So you can see that's where the price gets set, and you can see right now price is at 10,235, and the bid offer is pretty much $20 to $25 on each side. And what's nice here is that, you know, if you want to buy or sell it, you have the possibility to do that pretty much at market. Everyone is 1 for 10, as in if you're buying one contract, you have $1 in price movement for every 10 in Bitcoin. And if you want to trade basically a full Bitcoin, you're trading 10 contracts. And that would be, for instance, you know, you're buying it, you have a potential loss right now of 55.70 versus a loss of 44.30. But this is what's kind of interesting, Basil, as this moves away from the middle of that spread, is let's say you wanted to short this right now, okay? So let's say you wanted to short it, and you wanted to short it dollar for dollar with Bitcoin. So you have 10 contracts, you'd be selling it. You're selling it at 10,215, which is literally about $25 below the price. You have defined risk up to 14.7 is where your losses are. You have profit potential down to 4,700. But what's amazing in this is that you have a max loss of, let's call it 4,500 for a max profit of 5,500. And you're not really paying much premium to have a risk reward in your favor. Right? I mean, it's pretty cool when it starts to line up. As it begins to trade slightly higher than the middle of the spread, you have losses that are capped at still 14.7, so you're closer to your loss limit, so you're going to have less, and they haven't really priced in a dramatic amount of premium if you're bearish, right? And if you wanted to make that trade, it's not even dollar for dollar risk reward anymore. You know, it's now risking $4.5, $4.50 for every $5.50 of potential profit. And as we know, 4,700 isn't out of the realm. We were just at 6,000, and we were just at 20,000. We'll be right back, folks, to finish up the show. Come on back.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
You don't buy into that nonsense, do you? You know you can't time the markets. I didn't. And in 2006, I set out on a mission to do just that. I began by surrounding myself with the greats like Tom O'Brien, Larry Pesavento, David White, and Basil Chapman. I read countless books and even looked to the moon and planets for answers. Now, we both know that trading is 80% mental. So I learned the exact tools that Tony Robbins uses to overcome fear. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability. And last March, the folks at Timers Digest began tracking my newsletter signals, which through January 18, 2018, placed me as the #1 gold timer for that exact time frame. Now, I can't officially be recognized until Timers Digest has a full year of signals, but clearly I've learned how to time the markets, and I'd like to teach you how to do that as well. Subscribers to Mastering Probability gain access to my live and archive workshops where I show you the exact same patterns that earned me this #1 ranking. If you're looking for great market calls and an education, sign up for Mastering Probability today at TFNN.com.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Think or Swim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Learn how to trade options with swim lessons. Brought to you by TD Ameritrade Think or Swim. Next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. Tommy O'Brien and Basil Chapman. Dow up 175, S&P's up 10, NASDAQ up 30. So, Basil, what are you going to be talking about at noon today? And I know before we segue to that, you're going to be doing a great program at noon, and you're going to be back closing out the market live at 4 o'clock, following Larry at 5.
Yes,
so
looking forward to that.
We look forward to it as well.
So I just got an email that says, Basil, I'm sorry, but I'm on the road today, so I'll have to listen to the replay of your show later. Hoping you could take a look at Bitcoin ETF, that's GBTC. I'm considering buying a little. Thanks as always. Love the show, Rob. So
okay.
I had a couple of questions last week, and what I said is we missed the perfect entrance when GBTC, which trades only in market hours. This is a tough thing because we've seen overnight you could have an entire week's worth of trading overnight in Bitcoin, and the next day it gaps up or gaps down. So this is what I said was the perfect entry was in the 14s. I wanted to do it, and I thought, let's wait. Well, I waited, and it shot up to the 20 level. Now it's back at 1760. It coincides with the one you can see on the right here, which is the chart you and I looked at.
Yes.
This is the cash. What I wanted to say to you is that the pullback is why, if you were looking at options, the premium would be shrinking with a slight, right now would have a slightly, maybe a little bit more bias to the upside because there's a green candle, but both premiums would have shrunk. That's my thinking.
And
so
just
what I do...
Sorry, I was just going to say one more on that GBTC, too. Tom and I have covered that before. There's some premium in there, net asset value-wise, to be very aware of. Yeah, that it might not be trading. It just might not be trading exactly where it should be according to the net asset values. So you may be dealing with some risks in there more than you think.
You're absolutely. It's another risk. So what I recommend is if you are interested, only take a little bit. I'll talk about it in my show.
Perfect.
Just treat it as an experiment more than anything else.
Very risky, for sure. As if Bitcoin is not risky enough, right? Basil, thank you for joining me. As always, we look forward to the show at 12 and at 4 o'clock to wrap it up. Thanks so much, folks. Stay tuned. And if you're in New York, that is where Tom is. Traders Expo, Marriott Marquis. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.